Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now we are going to get right back into the 5 steps to real estate success. Right now we are in the glossary, learning some words regarding real estate. This is take number 3 of the real estate glossary that we are in right now. And we're on the letter B. We're going to finish up B and go right into the letter C of the glossary. So without further ado, let us go ahead and get into the glossary. And it goes like this. Building code. Local regulations that control constructions, design, and materials used in construction that are based on health and safety regulations. Building line. The distance from the front, rear, or sides of a building lot beyond which no structures may extend. Buy down. Usually refers to a fixed rate mortgage where the interest rate is brought down for a temporary period, usually 1 to 3 years. After that time and for the remainder of the term, the borrower's payment is calculated at the note rate. In order to buy down the initial rate for the temporary payment, a lump sum is paid and held in an account used to supplement the borrower's monthly payment. These funds usually come from the seller as a financial incentive to induce someone to buy their property. Buyer's broker. A real estate broker retained by a prospective buyer. This buyer becomes the broker's client to whom fiduciary duties are owed. Bylaws. Rules and regulations adopted by an association, such as a condominium. C. Cancellation clause. A provision in the lease that confers on one or all parties to the lease the right to terminate the party's obligations should the occurrence of the condition or contingency set forth in the clause happen. Canvassing. The practice of searching for prospective clients by making unsolicited phone calls and or visiting homes door to door. Cap. The limit on fluctuation rates regarding adjustable rate mortgages. Limitations or caps may apply to how much the loan may adjust over a 6-month period, an annual period, and over the life of the loan. There is also a limit on how much that payment can change each year. This looks like a cap. Not a hat, but a cap. Capital. Money used to create income or the net worth of a business as represented by the amount by which its assets exceed its liabilities. Capital expenditure. The cost of a betterment to a property. Capital gains tax. A tax charged on the profit gained from the sale of a capital asset. Capitalization. The process of estimating the present value of an income producing piece of property by dividing anticipated future income by a capitalization rate. Capitalization rate. The rate of return a property will generate on an owner's investment. Cash flow. The net income produced by an investment property, calculated by deducting operating and fixed expenses from gross income. Caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. Latin. And for that spelling for that Latin word is C-A-V-E-A-T. And the second part of it is E-M-P-T-O-R. Okay? The next word is C-C and R. Covenants, conditions, and restrictions of a cooperative or condominium development. Certificate of discharge. A document used when the security instrument in a mortgage is a mortgage. Certificate of eligibility. A document issued by the Veterans Administration that certifies a veteran's eligibility for a VA loan. Certificate of Reasonable Value, or CRV. Once the appraisal has been performed on a property being bought with a VA loan, the Veterans Administration issues a CRV, Certificate of Sale. The document given to a purchaser of real estate that is sold at a tax foreclosure sale. Certificate of Title. A report stating an opinion on the status of a title based on the examination of public records. Chain of title. The recorded history of conveyances and encumbrances. Okay, wait a second. Encumbrances that affect the title to a parcel of land. And I'm going to spell that word, conveyances and encumbrances is ENCUMBRANCES for that word. The next word on our list is city. A large municipality governed under a charter and granted by the state. For that M word is municipality. Clear title. A title that is free of liens and legal questions as to ownership of a property that is requirement for the sale of real estate, sometimes referred to as just title, good title, or free and clear. Closing. The point in real estate transaction where the purchaser price is paid to the seller and the deed to the property is transferred from the seller to the buyer. Closing cost. There are two kinds. One, non-reoccurring closing costs. And two, prepaid items. Now, non-reoccurring closing costs are any items paid once as a result of buying the property or obtaining a loan. Prepaid items are items that recur over time, such as property taxes and homeowners insurance. A lender makes an attempt to estimate the amount of non-recurring closing costs and prepaid items on the good faith estimate, which is issued to the borrower within 3 days of receiving a home loan application. Closing date, the date on which the buyer takes over the property. Closing statement, a written accounting of funds received and dispersed during a real estate transaction. Buyer and seller receive separate closing statements. Cloud on a title, an outstanding claim or encumbrance that can affect or impair the owner's title. Clustering, the grouping of homes, sites within a subdivision on smaller lots than normal, with the remaining land slated for use as a common area. Codicil, a supplement or addition to a will that modifies the original instrument. Coinsurance clause, a clause in an insurance policy that requires the insured to pay a portion of any loss experienced. And collateral, something of value, hypothecated real property or pledged personal property by a borrower as security for a debt. And that does complete Sum of C for this tape. Stay tuned for the rest of C, and we'll go ahead and go into letter D of the glossary. It be it thy will. So, I would like for you and your family to be blessed. Take care, be well, and I'll talk with you soon here on Poem Praise 2. So until next time, later, y'all.